storage space minus space JSON port. Okay, so let us come to our component class2.js file. This is the component class 2. In this now again data should come from the JSON server. It's loading. Call inside the import Axios. Import Axios from Axios. Come down, write a function, get user, get user function. In get user function, you will bring the data from again the same URL axios.get. This is the path where our server is running user list. So we can write here http://localhost:/user list dot then fetch the data from. It will bring the data from that particular URL. We can check once if response dot data dot length greater than 0, that represent there is a record. If record is there, this dot set state inside the set state, you will add here user colon response dot data. So content of that requested URL is going to come under the response.data. Data is a predefined object. Response can be anything. Now from that data object, we are passing to the user so that after reading the data from here, it will go to the state variable. User is your state variable. User is your state variable. Okay, user is your state variable. Now come down how you will call this function get user. You want to call it on load or you want to call on button click. Okay, that is again next matter. So if you want to call on load, we have to use a function from React. If you want to call on click, then you have to create a button here. On button click, you can call the get user. Definitely data will, function will call and data will come. Or other option also we have on load. We have a event, not event, there is a life cycle function that is called component did mount is another life cycle function. In functional component you have seen, called use effect. In functional component it was a use effect, not use effect, use effect only, use effect. So here under the class component we have a function that is called component did mount. Component did mount. So we will go here and we'll call the component did mount. Component did mount. In component did mount, we can call get user function. User function. Okay, okay, written. Now come down. You can print the length here. Dot it dot user dot let's save the file and check once. You can keep an alert here. Component did mount called. Okay, hope written. Now come to the browser. See, component did mount will call automatically. After that, data will come here. 3 data from the JSON API. Component did mount will come call automatically, and after calling that, data will bring from the API. So flow is like this. First constructor will call and it will create the variable user. Second render will call, it will display the basic HTML. It will display the length of user as a 0. Third, your component did mount will call. Component did mount will call the get user. Once the get user will call, component did mount will call third position. First constructor, then render, third component did mount. It's a sequence. Life cycle function are organized like that. It will be executing in sequence. Next, after that, once the component did mount will call, component did mount will call the get user function. Get user function will go to this URL, bring the data and give to a state. Give the data to a state. And as soon as the data will be given to a state, data will be updated under the state. Again, render function will call. Once the data will get updated under the state, render function will call again automatically. Okay, render function will call automatically. Let me write an alert here. And add one function in the beginning. Constructor. Okay, let me come to the page now. First constructor, variable created. Second render, basic HTML will be ready. Third component did mount, data will come. Again render. Let me go to some other component. I went to the product component. Again, I'll come to the class 2. Under class 2, you can see first constructor, that is variable is created. State variable is created. Once constructor is called, that is state variable is created. Second, render, your basic HTML will be ready. Third component did mount, your data will come from the backend. Component did mount will call the get user function. Then after that, component did mount will call the get user function. Get user function will bring the data from API, give to a state. Once it will give to a state, render will call automatically. You will see render call automatically. Why this render call automatically? Twice, because first time render was called when the page was loading. Now render is calling. Why? Because there is a modification under the state variable. Get user function bring the data from API and update it under the state. Once state will get update, once state will get modify, the render function will recall. Why? Because the render function has to Keep watching if any changes happen under the state. That should reflect under the browser also. If I do OK, 3 will come here. Right, hope you see the flow. Next, come now. This alerts what is written. I will comment here. This dot, it dot, user dot map. User info, comma index. Return tr is should be index. Id user info dot id that id is coming from the JSON server. User info name is coming from the JSON server. User info dot mobile user info dot age video P3 record came here. Loading the data. Ready? Getting the data? Anyone? Say yes, no? Are you implementing or not? I'm waiting for your response. It was in the clean flow only, not difficult. Then let's go do the remaining work. Delete part. Or we can create a new component to add the data. Delete is easy only. Complete delete also is 2-minute work. I write a function here, delete user. User ID. We can write here one more URL. Variable URL equal to this URL, same URL what you called here. But in that you have to do slash plus user ID you can write here use.delete, pass the URL dot then response will come, but from their response will not come any kind of meaningful text message. Again, after deleting that, we can call here this dot set state MSG successfully. Under a state, there is no any variable called message. We have to create it. Below you have to call again dot get user for the list. Yeah, written. Now come up. We have to create one more variable in a state MSG colon empty. MSG colon empty. Come down below. We have to print this MSG variable. After this H3, we can write a p tag, class name, text hyphen danger. Text danger, text center. In between now, you can print the MSG. Next, this button, delete user function will call on button click. On button click. Dot user dot bind. This will come as a predefined. Then you will type here user info dot id. JSON server will not understand the index. It need ID, because data when you are sending to JSON server is generating one unique ID for each user. If you send that ID to JSON server will create, JSON server will delete that particular user. So it's here now, delete user function we called, and we send the ID in that user info of ID. For every user, the ID will be unique, and hopefully data should load. Okay, let us check now. Delete functionality is happening. Something went wrong. This dot delete user is fine. Okay, this dot state dot msg. This dot state dot msg. Now let me check again. Scheme now. I'll delete this Manish Kumar. See the record deleted successfully. Length got decreased to 2. So hope going. Now let us create the new file to understand how to post the data again. Create the next file, class3.js. In class3.js again, we require to import till here. Should be class 3. Need to use the constructor again. Super function is required. This dot state. This dot state equal to Leave the state variable here, colon, okay, is an empty, colon empty, education colon empty, one is the variable empty. Next, you require a function called the URL. Same URL you can call again here. Create a variable, new user equal to name colon this dot state dot full name colon this dot state dot age while colon this dot state dot mobile this dot state dot edu. After that, you will write here axios.post URL comma new user. Dot then we can write here this dot set state colon state dot full name plus save successfully. After that, you need to clear the text boxes. We can keep this all here again to clear the text field. So once you call the save function, it will take the value of full name, age, mobile, education and create here, and after that it will post to the server. It will post to server. After posting to the server, message will come like particular name saved successfully, and again full name, age, mobile and education will set to the empty, so that below the text box should become empty even. In this variable, give some default name for testing purpose. Test user, 30 years, keep mobile number something, education, and this is the default value we added for testing purpose. Once you click on save button, this data should get posted to the JSON server. Okay, hope done clear. Next, come down. We have to write the render function. Render function. Run. Container. Last name row. On LG4. Offset also 4. Together. It's 3. 2. JSON server. Now create a division. Hyphen center. Button. Save user. On click equal to this dot save. BTN primary. So once you click on save button, function will come. Default value will go to the server. Display the message also here in P tab. This dot state dot msg. Class name text hyphen danger text hyphen center. Okay, then come to the app.js file. In app.js file, we can import the class 3. And you can add in the routing. In app.js file, you can import it and add in routing. Now we'll give you complete SRC folder. Tomorrow 8 o'clock we have the project class. So hope you are going to join. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow. SRC folder is shared. Next week, Monday, Tuesday will be the React related syllabus. Next week, Monday, Tuesday. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday till Saturday, you will have a Redux. After that, your React will get over. Next week, like tomorrow, day after tomorrow, you have project class. Then Monday, Tuesday, pending of React class component. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Redux. Okay. And then we can leave, we can log out. See you tomorrow 8 o'clock. Tomorrow 8 o'clock, hope I will not message you. You need to remember and log in. Or maybe I will remind you in the evening.